My name's Jason. I've been in the home building industry for over 25 years. And what I want to talk about in this video is the building experience and the building process. So I've seen a lot of different questions, a lot of different issues, a lot of different experiences that I've had where I wanted to take basically all of the knowledge and the experience that I have and put something together that can help guide you through the process. In this webinar, we're going to cover everything from construction loans and how they work, how to find a lot, how to choose your builder, the questions to ask your builder, how to compare the builder's pricing, comparing builders' floor plans, going over the selections process and when that needs to take place, understanding the construction process, and what to expect during the construction process. So one of the most important steps in the building process is choosing your builder. Choosing the right builder is definitely complicated. There's a lot of things that you need to look for. How to compare the builders, how to know what one builder uses in their home compared to another, what questions to ask the builder, where to get reviews on the builder. So there's a lot of different things that we will really get into in the course to kind of make sure you fully understand how to compare builders and how to break them down and ultimately how to choose the right one. If you choose the right builder, it can give you a great building experience. But if you choose the wrong builder, you could be in for a bad experience. So many people don't know what the differences are between builders, or that there are even differences between home builders. All home builders do things differently. They each use different ingredients. They have floor plans that differentiate from the other, and all of these things go into one builder being better than another, or one builder being more expensive than another. So if you meet with two builders and one builder gives you a price that's $40,000 more than the other builder, well, why is that? We're going to go through how to break down the builders, how to compare them with the blueprints, with the materials that they use, with the pricing that they give you. That's something that we're going to dive deeper into with the course. For example, you may go into a builder's model and that builder tells you that it's going to cost $500,000 to build that home. You go into another builder's model and they tell you it's going to be $550,000 to build that home. But they're both the same price. They both have somewhat of the same finishes, so what are the differences? One of the biggest things that you don't realize when you go into a builder's model, and a lot of times it's because you're distracted by the finishes that they have in the home, the decorating that they have in the home, but one builder's home may have more windows than the other. It may have taller ceilings than the other. There may be more bump outs or foundation corners than the other home has, and all of these things go into one home builder's price being more than the other. So it's not necessarily that this one builder just charges more than the other. Their home plan may be more expensive to build. The materials that go into the house are the same thing. One builder may use a single hung window and they may run drywall returns into the window. The other builder may use wood trim around the windows and they're double hung windows. Well, it costs more to do wood trim around the windows and to have a double hung window than the single hung window with drywall returns. So there's all of these little things that I'm going to show you how to compare and break down so that when you get pricing, when you go into a builder's model, you're going to know exactly what to look for and how to break everything down. Over the years in this industry, I've had a lot of stories from customers we didn't build for, that had bad experiences. I'm going to give some examples of what those are. And again, in the course, we're going to deep dive into how we're going to avoid this and be able to identify these certain types of builders. But over the past 5 or 6 years, I've had not once, not twice, but 3 times, I've had somebody contact me because their builder that they chose wasn't able to finish the home that they started. The reason for that is the customer chose the builder. This particular builder drew more money than they should have in the beginning of the build process to pay themselves and to pay for other jobs that they had going on, and they weren't able to finish the home. So they went back to the customer and said, I'm going to need more money in order to keep building your house. Now the customer agreed upon a price with the builder in the beginning, It was a fair price. All of the money was set aside into an escrow account, and the builder was the one that was irresponsible, took that money that he shouldn't have to pay for things that were going on with other jobs or to pay himself. Now, this isn't the easiest thing to avoid, but there certainly are things that can be done to kind of double check your builder. You can talk with references. One of the biggest things is probably to speak with the bank that you're using or other local banks. If this particular builder has had bad experiences and has done this to other customers in the past, a lot of the lenders around town are going to know about this. You can speak with vendors that supply lumber and other materials and ask, hey, this builder that I'm thinking about using, does he pay his bills on time or not? And they're going to be honest with you and tell you. And those are just a few of the things that we'll get into on how to avoid somebody like that. But one of the biggest things that you're going to be able to do that we'll deep dive into is understanding the full cost that the builder gives you. So when a builder gives you a pricing sheet, rather than just looking at the total and seeing some of the finishes that are included there, you're going to be able to go through this worksheet and you're going to know, hey, I don't see this for site improvements, or I don't see that for this particular thing that we talked about. So even if you do end up picking a not so great builder, you're still going to be able to give yourself a good building experience because you're going to have the know-how on what to look for and how to verify the pricing that the builder's giving you. One of the other things we want to avoid is your home's getting built, you're walking into the home, and something doesn't look the way that you thought it was going to look. Way back when you met with the builder and his model and you told the builder, I want this, and the builder said, okay, yeah, no problem, it's going to be in there. Now the house is being built and it's not in there. How do you avoid things like that? Well, blueprints and knowing how to read the blueprints and double check the blueprints to make sure that everything you've talked about with the builder is shown on the blueprint. A really good rule of thumb to know is that if something's not shown on the blueprint, or if it's not called out in your building contract, or if it's not listed on the selections form, it's not going to be in the house. So if you talked about doing a tray ceiling in your master bedroom, but your blueprint doesn't show it, the tray ceiling's not going to get built. And once the house is already framed up, it's almost impossible to go back and fix something like that without you, the customer, having to spend money. So this is one of those areas that's going to save you a lot of money if you know what to look for and you know how to look at the blueprints and verify that everything that you discussed is there. And if it's not there, you can bring it to the builder's attention and make sure the plans are changed to get the right information on the print. So that way you avoid walking into your home expecting to have a 9-foot ceiling somewhere and you're only getting an 8-foot ceiling. The plan didn't specify what it was supposed to be, and so it just got built the way that somebody thought it should. And now to change it, it's going to end up costing a lot of money. So there are definitely ways that we can avoid issues like this. Some of you may have heard the term hidden cost, or I built the home with the builder, we agreed upon a price, and it ended up being $50,000 more than what he told me it was going to be. This is something that I hear all the time, and a lot of it can be avoided with knowing how to verify the price. So these hidden costs are typically things that happen during the site improvement stage. So if you're somewhere where you're building a home that's going to have a basement, if the excavator goes out to the site and he digs a hole and he finds out that there's soil problems and he has to dig deeper than normal and fill in some of the hole with stone, that's going to cost you a whole lot of money. Now there are ways to avoid that. You can have test holes dug at the site before the excavator starts, so you know if there's going to be soil issues or not. And if so, you can build that money into your construction loan. That would be one way to avoid a pretty big hidden cost. And a lot of those hidden costs are costs that you have to pay out of pocket. When you go and you close on your construction loan, you're all in, you think you've got everything planned for and accounted for, you're putting down a down payment. The last thing that you want to do is be getting hit with these overages from the builder where you have to pay money out of pocket to keep the home moving along. The other thing that can take this problem away is when you're buying the lot, and this is something that we'll get into in the course as well, but when you're buying the lot, you can place contingencies in your offer that will allow you to check for soil conditions and other things that may end up being huge expenses throughout the building process. The sewer, for example, let's say you're looking at a lot that has sewer, and the listing says that the sewer is there. When you go to build the home and the excavator is going to do the work of hooking up the sewer to the house, we find out the sewer is on the opposite side of the street. So they have to cut open the road, they have to bring the sewer across the street, and they have to bring the sewer to the house. In many cases, that can cost $20,000, $25,000. If that's not accounted for in your building contract, that's an expense that you have to pay out of pocket. Now, what if you don't have that money? Is the builder just going to stop until you can get the money to move forward? That could really be a big problem. And this is something that can also be, again, discovered when you're purchasing the lot. A contingency can go into the lot offer so that you and the builder can do due diligence to find out exactly where the sewer is and what the expense is going to be to bring sewer from where it is to the house. It may be too great of an expense where you say, you know what, this lot's not worth it, we're going to pass on this one and we're going to buy another one, and you just saved yourself a lot of money by doing that. Now that we've talked quite a bit about choosing your builder, avoiding hidden costs, things of that nature, again, those are the big money-saving items that we're going to dive deeper into. We're going to talk about some of the smaller things like a construction loan and how a construction loan works. A lot of people don't realize that a construction loan is a type of loan that you get and you close on before the home build takes place. So you agree upon a building amount with your builder, that gets turned into a building contract, and the amount for that building contract goes into an escrow account at the bank. The builder, throughout the build process, is going to draw from that escrow account 4 to 5 times throughout the process. The first draw is going to take place after the initial site work is done. So the builder is going to draw money, and you're going to sign off and say that yes, this work has been done, so that the builder can't just take any amount of money that he wants whenever he wants. You're going to be approving this. So the builder is going to take a draw to pay for that initial site work and the contractors that participated in that initial site work. The second draw typically happens after the framing has taken place. So the builder can pay for the lumber, can pay for the framing labor. The third draw is going to take place after the rough mechanicals are done in the house. So after the rough plumbing, electric, HVAC is done in the house, builder can pay the contractors for the work that they've done. The fourth draw is typically going to take place after drywall has been completed. And then the fifth draw is going to take place when the home is completed. One little tip with construction loans, I've heard a lot of questions asking if you can use your land as collateral. So different banks are going to require, 5 to 10% or maybe even 20% down of whatever your total build cost is. If you own your property, so say you own your lot, it's worth $100,000, you don't have any payments on it, you own it free and clear, the bank is going to be able to look at your lot, give it a value of $100,000, and that can count towards your down payment, and that might even cover your entire down payment. Even if you purchase the lot and you're still making payments on it and you don't own it free and clear, say you bought a lot for $100,000 and you still owe $60,000. So you've got $40,000 of equity in the lot. The bank can look at that $40,000 and use that. They can count that towards your down payment. So that would be $40,000 less that you would have to put down. So if you do own your property already, that's just something that's good to know, that you can use that and count that as part of your down payment. Finding a lot is another part of the building process. There are many different ways to go about this. You want to make sure when you're looking for a lot and finding a lot that you know what the improvement expenses are going to be. You want to know that your home's going to fit on the lot. You want to know if there's any cost above and beyond the norm. You want to kind of know everything there is to know about the lot. If you choose the wrong lot or you don't know everything that there is to know about the lot that you're buying, it can give you thousands of dollars of unexpected expenses. In the course, we're gonna really dive deep and go over all the contingencies, every single little thing that you need to look for so that you're fully protected before you purchase the lot. Finding a floor plan. This can definitely be a crucial step with the building process. You want to choose the floor plan that has everything that you want in it, but at the same time, you don't want it to be out of whack with where your budget is. There's a lot of different resources for finding plans, including the different builders that offer plans, online sites that offer plans. But you want to make sure you're getting everything you want in the plan and still keeping it cost efficient. A lot of times people will pick a plan, it's got everything that they want, but they didn't know what to look for in the plan. Now it gets priced out by the builder and it's way more than what their budget allows for, and they've lost a good 1 to 2 months of just waiting for plans and pricing to come back, and now you've got to start over. So we'll dive into how to avoid this, how to compare plans, and how to pick the right one for yourself. Selections is another big part of the building process. This is something that you're going to want to do in the beginning. If you can choose all of your selections in the beginning, the builder can order things quickly and right off the bat. A lot of builders don't start the selection process until the home is already started. You're choosing the garage doors you want, but now there's going to be a 6-month lead time until they come in, so they're not going to be installed until after the house is done. This is going to cause huge delays with your home. So doing your selections, knowing how to do the selections, what to look for with the selections, can help your builder build your home a lot quicker. Another important part of the selections process is ordering. So if you know what you're going to be choosing in the beginning and the builder can order it sooner rather than later, you can avoid cost increases. With the way that everything's going these days, the building prices on all materials continuously rise. So if you can order your cabinets now as opposed to 2 months from now, you're going to save yourself a lot of money. So there's a lot of different ways to verify the pricing. There's a lot of different things to look for. That'll be something that we deep dive into. I'll give you a builder breakdown of how and what to look for when it comes to all of the expenses that should be in your build pricing. Last but not least, what to expect in the build process. So there's going to be things that happen no matter what. Even if you've looked at the blueprints thoroughly, you've done your selections, you've verified the builder's cost, there's going to be things that come up. There's thousands and thousands of pieces getting put together by lots of different contractors. So there's going to be little things that come up. So just know that this is something that can happen. Just know that maybe you end up having a broken window. A window comes broken, or maybe you walk into your house and something was framed improperly. If you can understand that these things are going to happen, and then you know what to look for, you can bring these to the builder's attention and these things can get taken care of, it's going to help you avoid a lot of stress throughout the building process. So just know there's going to be delays, there's going to be mistakes that are made, but we can move past that. We can get to where we want to be and give ourselves a great building experience. I hope this video helped you to be able to identify some of the things to look for in the building experience. We're going to deep dive into every single one of these issues. We're going to provide checklists and forms, an overview to follow along with. Try to make this course as affordable as possible. It's going to be less than the cost of one of your bathroom faucets. And I can guarantee that this course is going to be something that's going to save you thousands of dollars. It's going to save you time and it's going to save you stress. So for everybody that watched this webinar, we're going to offer a discount with the course. So if you go ahead and act on getting that course, that's something that you can take advantage of. Thanks so much for your time. Take care.